Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we'll be doing another video on Sam Harris, but this time an Islamic apologist confronts Sam Harris and instantly regrets it. Nah, I just want to see Sam Harris dunk on those liberals, man. Well, let's just get into the video, shall we?
I did want to preface this by saying that I am not a Muslim. I'm not any religion at all. But it bothered me when you were talking about Islam being not a religion of peace. Muhammad was a very peaceful man.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, well, yes,
no.
and he had a great
Well, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I wouldn't say he was a pacifist, which is what most people think what peace automatically means nowadays. But he was not a pacifist. I would never say that. Now, say he was a peaceful man, I would kind of disagree with that in a way. He only fought when he was being challenged and when he actually could fight. He didn't fight like a random barbarian whenever he could. He was originally a merchant and not a quote-unquote warlord. He only became a political leader after he ran away from Medina after persecution in Mecca. After he rallied enough support in Medina, he challenged Mecca. Mecca chased him and confronted him. They had a couple of battles, but they eventually came up with a treaty. Mecca broke the treaty, and thus the war started again.
respect for women. His
Okay,
wives were given a great deal of power over him. And
have you been reading Karen Armstrong? Is that where this is coming from?
No, I've read Karen Armstrong, but no. And, you know, what's happening now with Islam is it's bastardized, just like all the other religions. But it bothers me that you
So you're saying the true Islam, if we could only return to it, would just nullify all of my concerns about Islam?
I don't think any religion is a good religion, but it bothers me that you singled Islam out.
Okay.
And
What bothers me is that the title reveals that she's an Islamic apologist, but she's not even Muslim. She's not even defending Islam. She's just saying that, well, you said Islam Islam not religion of peace, so your opinion bad. That's what she was saying.
that you said that, you know, that actually that Muhammad was a peaceful man.
Okay.
And
well,
that
Muhammad, who knows who Muhammad was? I mean, Muhammad's actually closer to history than Jesus and many of the other patriarchs, so we know more about him. But obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty about what's factual. But the example of Muhammad, as held in Islam universally, is not of a pacifist. He was a conquering warlord who spread the faith with the sword.
Well, not really with the sword, I would say. I mean, yeah, he wasn't a pacifist. I'm not gonna say he's a pacifist. But when he ran away to Medina, he united them through diplomacy. He did have to fight a lot, though, because he was a tribe in Arabia in the 7th century. There was a lot of fighting back then. Can be a leader of a tribe without fighting. And the definition of warlord is kind of disagreed upon, but I do agree that he is a political, religious, and military figure. Now, if you want to call him a warlord, if that's your definition of warlord, then go ahead. But if you mean someone who just randomly killed innocent people, women, and children, that was not who he was. He didn't even fight when non-threatened. He only fought Mecca after they killed his followers. And the Quran even says to not attack your enemies whom you have a treaty with and those who you maintain a treaty with.
Quite successfully. And the expectation is this is a way of being in the world that is by example totally justified. Now this is different from Jesus. Jesus did not spread the faith with a sword. He was essentially a hippie who got crucified. Now that's a different example, and it's a difference that is a benefit to Christianity at the moment, because in Christianity you can come up with a rationale for saying, listen, it's not about conquering the world. It's not about winning in this life. We just got to wait for Jesus to come back and get raptured.
It wasn't about winning in this world for him either. He had to fight for his life. Mecca was coming after him and his followers.
But you can't really do that in Islam. Christianity has a line like, render unto God that which is God, and unto Caesar that which is Caesar's. And that line has done, from Matthew, has done huge work to separate Christianity from claim upon terrestrial power. Now, it's imperfect work, and there are a lot of crazy Christians who want terrestrial power, but at least there's some rationale within Christianity for doing that. That rationale doesn't exist in Islam. There's no line in the Quran which says, listen, guys, this is not about politics, it's not about controlling people's lives. You can be privately religious and let everyone else flourish.
But the subjugation of women was not...
Alright, so when you said that you could be privately religious and not let everyone flourish, I think he's trying to say that leave religion out of political matters, which is sort of a new kind of thing, I guess, with like secular liberalism, and I guess because separation of church and state is automatically good, I guess, but that doesn't really mean that Islam is bad because it doesn't have a separation of quote-unquote church and state. I don't even know what he's trying to say here. I guess he's kind of mad that Islam has like a political leverage. And I do agree that, yeah, Islam is a political religion. It does have influence in politics, but just that people misconstrue what Islam really is. And that's my problem. I never was going for the fact that Islam was a pacifist religion of peace. I was going for the fact that Sam Harris does not understand the very fundamentals of Islamic war.
Something that Muhammad was...
You're just not... please just go read the Quran and read some significant... Okay, well then surely you read the part in the Quran which talked about husbands scourging or whipping, depending on the translation, their wives who are...
He doesn't say whipping. Who says whipping? According to the explanation of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Sunnah, it says to beat them with a miswak. Just like a little little needle thing you used to clean your teeth with. You could Google it. That's what you beat them with. It's supposed to like show your power over your wives, I guess. That's one of the ways that the scholars put it as.
Who are disobedient. Now,
that's in Judaism also.
What was that? Okay, okay, so it's in Judaism, but I will grant you that the worst books ever written were in the Old Testament. Okay, but there's a reason why Jews are not stoning their wives for adultery at this moment in history, and we can talk about those reasons. What I said about Islam was intended to counter exactly the presuppositions you are now bringing to me. I don't have time to do it here, but I can only invite you to read more on the subject because we are deluding ourselves with a lot of wishful thinking. I mean, we are desperate to believe that all of the problems in the world are of our own making. If we could just spread more money around and behave better on the global stage, people will treat us well. And that everyone wants the same thing, and it's all a matter of just more education, and this religion is intrinsically benign. It's just not true. And Osama bin Laden, the crucial, I've said this, but I should say it again. The real problem is that Osama bin Laden is giving a very plausible version of the faith. Now, you can split a few hairs and say, well, listen, apostates shouldn't be killed unless they speak kind of endlessly against the faith. But the penalty for apostasy is death under Islam. And there's no school of Islam which says, oh, no, we don't mind apostates. It just doesn't exist. There's no
okay, so I don't know what he's trying to say here. Osama bin Laden isn't really giving a plausible version of Islam. Like, his attacks on 9/11 aren't exactly supported by Islam because, like, killing innocent people who have a treaty with you and breaking a treaty in Islam is a very bad deed. According to this verse right here, breaking a treaty is a very, very bad deed. Very naughty. And also killing women and children is wrong, according to a Sahih Hadith. It's forbidden, actually. So, I'm kind of confused on the title here, because this woman wasn't even an Islamic apologist, she was just a liberal. And, yeah, Sam Harris, diluting Islam, like usual. Well, Assalamu alaikum.